So welcome back. In the last class we're talking about the address ranges, which is used by the jump, call and return instructions. We have completed relative range, absolute range, and in the last minute we are talking about the long range addresses that can access the entire program space. There is no limitation at all. In case of the relative range, you could address only 255 bytes, and in the absolute range, you are addressing the program's memory space in terms of the pages, which is of the size only 2K. Only 2K. So you can your addressing range is limited to 2K. I was telling you, forward branch, no problem. But in case of the backward branch, that will be an error. There will be an error if you are there in the boundary space, because your limitation is only 2K. But in case of the long range, you are using the complete address space of 64 kilobytes. So the advantage is that the entire program address space is available for the programmer of the longer length. So relocation of the program requires reassembling of the program. Because when you are using the long ranges, the program code can be relocated to the next program memory size of 64K. So many pages are there, you can just imagine 64K pages are there. Then you may have to relocate the program. You may have to relocate the program. When you are relocating your program, once again you have to reassemble, because the program is in a different range, So once again you have to reassemble and you have to run it. That would be the difficulty. That would be the difficulty. Anyway, for the longer application program, you are using these concepts. Anyway, in the pilot version of our understanding, we will be always using the relative range. So you concentrate more on the relative range. That's all. Now, after understanding the address ranges which are used for the branch instructions, let us discuss about the various branch instructions available. One is unconditional jump, call and return instructions, which are unconditional. Next group is conditional jump instructions. The third one is interrupt return. These are the three important control transfer group of instructions. Let us see one by one. First one is unconditional jump instructions. It repeats the sequence of instructions in certain number of times is called a loop. I was discussing about you the concept of looping. We had discussed it separately. But anyway, here there is a definition given by the author, Masjidi. Repeating a sequence of instructions certain number of times is called as a loop. Loop is managed in 8051 using the instruction DJNZ. So DJNZ is the first instruction. What is the syntax? DJNZ, register, any register, whatever you use, with the initial count and label. Label is the target address. So the register is decremented. If it is not 0, it jumps to the target address referred to by the label. I told you already. So prior to the start of the loop, the register is loaded with number of counts of repetition. Any counters can be used. Counter register can be used. R0 to R7 can be used as even the RAM location also can be used as the initial count. It is not an issue. It is not an issue. So there is an example here. You can just see accumulator is initialized with 0. R2 is initialized with 10. You are writing 10 means it will be taken automatically as 0A. If you write 10H, it will be taken as 10H. If you simply write 10, it will be taken as 0A. You are repeatedly adding A with 3. 3 plus 0, next 3 plus 3, next 6 plus 3, like that. How many times? 10 times. So DJ and Z R2 again. So repeat until R2 is equal to 0. Finally, save the accumulator in some register R5, some junk program to explain the scenario. That's all. So I'll not be investing much of the time here because you already know DJNZ instruction. So DJNZ instruction is used for implementing the concept of looping. And this particular DJNZ instruction works in the relative address range. You can just see relative address range. So next scenario, if we want to repeat an action more than 256, we use loop inside a loop. The concept is called as nested loop. Suppose you want to use repeat the action more than 25, you can just say, in case of relative address range, only 1 byte target. 1 byte target, and the count, whatever you are using, can be maximum FF. That is 255. Suppose if you want to repeat any instance, repeat any action more than 256 times, then you have to loop. Then you have to use loop inside the loop. Concept of nested loop. It is here. Accumulator is 55. R3 is 10. R2 is 70. So 70 is the inner loop count. 10 is the outer loop count. Complement A. DJ and Z R2 again. Simply, it is a junk example where you are complementing accumulator repeatedly. How many times? How many times? Inside the loop, you are complementing 70 times. Such 70 times, once again, you are repeating 10 times. Totally, what is the effective thing? 700 times. So write a program to load the accumulator with the value 55 and complement the accumulator 700 times. 700 times. 700 decimal it is. But if you simply write 70 and 10, it will be automatically taken in hexadecimal by the compiler. So totally 700 times you are complementing it. It's a very interesting concept of nested loop. Inside you are having 70. 70 times it will be complemented. Outer count you are having 10, no? So once again that 70 times complementing is repeated 10 times. So totally it will be 700 times. So this concept is called as concept of nested loop. Very, very important concept of nested loop. So I will get a feedback from you now. Have you understood the concept of nested loop? Have you understood the concept of nested loop? Very important. Have you understood the concept of nested loop? Very, very important. I'm asking you, have you understood the concept of nested loop? Is it okay? You are using loop inside the loop. I just got one answer from Manjula. Others, have you understood? Is it okay? Can I proceed? It's concept of nested loop. Okay. Next example, next instruction is jump only if certain condition is met. Instruction is JZ, JZ label. JZ instruction checks the content of accumulator. It is saying, you see, if the content of accumulator is a 0, over, come out. Something you are doing, R1 to A, once again you are checking whether JZ is accumulator is 0. So very important is jump 0 instruction can only be used for the content of accumulator. Understand? It can only be used to check the content of accumulator. Suppose if I ask you, determine if R5 contains the value 0. If so, put F55 in it. Suppose if I ask you, then you cannot write move R5 comma some data. Directly you cannot write JZ or JNZ. You have to always move the content of R5 to A, then check JNZ next. Jump if A is not 0. If it is 0, it is asked you, it is telling you put R5 as 55. I am putting it. So this is the concept. So this is jump 0. Next instruction is JNC. This also we have seen. Jump if no carry. It checks the carry flag. If CY is equal to 0, CPU starts fetching and executing instruction from the address of the label. If CI is equal to 1, it will not jump, but it will execute the next instruction below JNC. Below JNC. You can just see this example. Find the sum of the values 79, F5, E2. Put the sum in registers R0, lower byte, R5, higher byte. I told you, this is a simple addition program which I have already said. So what is done there? Move accumulator 0, R5 is also 0 now. Rather than writing move R5 comma hash 0, I wrote move R5 comma A because it clears R5 just using 1 byte of the machine code. But if I write move R5 comma hash 0, it takes 2 bytes. So this programming logic you have to understand always. If you have a opportunity to save the number of bytes while you are writing a program, your program is accepted as an optimum program. So there you are seeing add A comma hash 79. So 0 plus 79 it does. It checks whether there is a carry. As you are checking 0 plus 79, there is no carry. If there is no carry, what you have to do? You have to add A with the next byte 0 F5. 79F plus F5, you are going to get the answer as 16E. So there is a carry. So if there is a carry, it is executing increment R5 as the instruction. It captures the carry in the register R5. Suppose if there is no carry, it adds with the next byte 0E2. Anyway, it continues here. If there is a carry now, so now it adds 6E plus E2. Once again it checks. Jump no carry. There is a carry. Once again, it increments R5. Finally, accumulator is copied into R0. So now R0 and R5 is having the sum. This is the example where you are using the jump instruction JNC and JC. So finally, conditional jump instructions available are JZ, JNZ, DJNZ, JC, JNC. 4 we have understood. JZ, JNZ, DJNZ, JC, JNC. Total 5 instructions we have understood. All these instructions are working in the relative address range and they are called as short jump instructions. They are called as short jump instructions. The unconditional jump is a jump in which control is transferred unconditionally to the target location. Whatever we have seen is the conditional jump instructions. Now we have to see unconditional jump instruction. First, let us finish conditional jump instructions. Some more is there. CJNE is there. JB, JNB, JBC we have seen already. When we had discussed bit manipulation instructions, we have seen that JC, JNC, JB, JNB, JBC. Jump if there is a bit, that is you are checking JB port 2, 0.0, comma next. You are checking the 0th bit of port 2 that you have seen. If it is 0, you do something. If it is not 0, do something. JBC is jump bit clear. You are checking a bit. If it is 1, you clear it. If it is 1, you clear it. That you have already seen. So we have to see an instruction called as CJNE. So what is that CJNE? We will see. CJNE instruction CJNE. So CJNE, compare jump not equal. Compare jump not equal. That is the meaning. So you can see various instruction available are CJNE, A comma next. So this instruction CJNE comma, you have to have a value there, #0 comma next. That means it checks A whether it is equal to 0. It checks whether A is equal to 0. If not 0, jumps to next. So, or you can have CJNE 05 comma #0 next. It checks whether register R5 is equal to 0. If not 0, it jumps to next. So this is called as compare jump not equal. So these two options are available there. Two options are available. CJNE register comma hash data. CJNE register comma hash data. Another example is CJNE A with byte. That is also there. So compare jump not equal. What you are comparing? You are comparing a register, or register may be an accumulator also. with hash data. If the byte is not equal to hash data. So that is the concept. Hope you have understood that. So we can have a program. We can have a program here. Write a program. Write a program to check the content of register R4 for 0. If 0, if 0, if 0, if 0, divide the content of R5 by 2. Here there is a warning to you. Don't use divide instruction. If not 0, if not 0, if not 0, compute the power of 2 of the content of R5. Very interesting program. Power of 2. So once again, don't use multiply instruction. Don't use mul instruction. So very, very important example. Just for your placement or any competitive exam, such interesting programs should be asked, which involves some thinking. Write a program to check the content of register R4 for 0. If 0, divide the content of R5 by 2. If not 0, compute the power of 2 of the content of R5. You should not use mul instruction. So you can take a memory location 30 as usual. There you are storing either a 0 value or some non-zero value. For 2 cases you should work. So first point, move R4, 30. So now you have to write, compare whether it is a 0, check whether it is a 0. So CJNE 04 with hash 0. If it is 0, very interesting program. If it is 0, next. Move R4, 30, CJNE 04, hash 0, next. So if it is not equal to 0, what you have to do? You have to compute the power of 2. If it is 0, if it is not equal to 0 means if you, next one is it is 0. Next instruction. If it is 0, what you should do? You have to divide R5 by 2. So R5 you have some data. You can R5, you can have the data as 0, 4. For dividing by 2 without using divide instruction. Very interesting. 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. See here? This is 0, 4, no? So what I would do? I'll simply do RRC. Rotate right. Rotate right. Just do RR. Rotate right. When you rotate right, what happens? What happens? You'll get this. Meaning is what? This is 2. This is 4. So for dividing by 2 without using divide instruction means you have to rotate right. That is the logic there. You have to rotate right. So what you can do here? You can say move accumulator comma R5, rotate right accumulator. Okay. Have the result in location 31. You can stop the program. Can stop the program. Very important. Suppose if it is not equal to 0, if it is not equal to 0, if it is not equal to 0, then you should multiply by 2. I wrote power of 2. Rather than you can say multiply by 2, so that it will be more clear. Multiply by 2. So now you would have already got the logic. Now already you would have got the logic. Suppose it is 4. Suppose if it is 4, if you rotate left, you are going to get 8. You are going to get 8. You are going to get 8. Multiply by 2. So rotate right. So RL. So RL does multiply by 2. So RR does divide by 2. This is the logic. This is the logic. So simply you do move A comma R5, RLA. RLA. Once again, same thing. Stop the program. Stop the program. So this is a very, very interesting point. Hope you would have understood. Hope you would have understood. Very important. So all of you answer your attendance now. All of you answer your attendance. All of you answer your attendance. So I have another last 5 minutes. Let me summarize the program. It's a very important program, which is a best example for CJNE. Compare jump not equal. It chunks the content of accumulator or it chunks the content of any register. See, please observe, rather than writing R5, always I have a practice of writing 05 means this is address of R5. If I write 05, what is the meaning? It is R5 because it is address of R5. It's address of R5. So I am taking an example here. Write a program to check the content of register R4 for 0. Only some 36 members answered the attendance, 60 members attended. Answer your attendance. Otherwise, your attendance will not be marked. So write a program to check the content of register R4 to 0. If 0, divide the content of R5 by 2 without using divide instruction. If not 0, you have to compute the product of R5 by 2. That is, you have to compute. So there is, in the statement, there is a problem. So multiply the content of R5 by 2. Multiply the content of R5 by 2. Once again, you should not use multiplication instruction. Multiply the content of R5 by 2. Once again, don't use multiplication instruction. So this is the statement. This is the statement. So I am doing initializing R5 by some data. R4, I will copy from 30. 30 I can store 0, 0 or some non-zero. So I will check the compare jump not equal 0, 4 with hash 0. I will check whether the content of R4 is a 0. So if I write R4, sorry, 0, 4, this is nothing but register R4. That is very important. This is nothing but register R4. So if it is not equal, then you have to jump to next. So in next, what I am doing, I am copying R5 to A, I am rotating left. When I rotate left, it will be multiplied by 2. And I will stop. Suppose if R4 is equal to 0, then what I will do, if R4 is equal to 0, see. So if R4 is equal to 0, it will execute this part of the instruction. It checks, it copies R5 to A, rotate right accumulator once. When you rotate right, what happens? It divides it by 2. And I am copying into location 31. So location 31 is this. So this contains the result. This contains the result of the program. So this is a very, very important example of compare jump not equal. So CJNE. So in the afternoon, let us meet for instruction class at 3 o'clock. So at this point, I will stop.